Does anybody need permission to record that doesn't already have it? Award winner, Pressley Harvin III. He's the second Georgia Tech punter to win the award, joining Durant Brooks back in 2007. He also tonight became a unanimous All-American by being named to the Walter Camp All-America team. He is the third unanimous All-American in the history of Georgia Tech football, joining Ken Swilling and Calvin Johnson, which is obviously a great honor. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and turn it over to Coach Collins, let him talk a little bit about Pressley here at the beginning, and then we'll open it up to questions about Pressley for Coach Collins, and then we'll bring Pressley on the call and let everybody talk with him. So without any further ado, Coach Collins.
Yeah, appreciate it. A huge night. We were just downstairs with Press in the team meeting room. We had some pizza and some wings and some salad and a little cake for him, and just so proud of Press, just how he's done it, how he's gone about his business, how he works every single day, how he had a vision for this when he was young and got into the punting game, and just couldn't be more proud of him. And to see the look of pride on his face, FaceTime with his mom, seeing the look of pride on her face, those are the things, those are the memories that stick with you as a coach. And just ridiculously proud of him. I think he's trying to get verified on Twitter right now. That's his big mission for the evening. So any help that we could have in that end, getting Pressley verified, I think that'll be a big deal for him, along with being a Ray Guy Award winner, consensus All-American. It's pretty cool, but I couldn't be happier for him. Big personality, big leg. Just what he's meant to this program, especially even since we've been here, has just been just awesome. So we wish him the absolute best and so proud of him.
Okay, if you have a question for Coach Collins about Pressley, please use the raise hand function within Zoom. We'll call on people individually, beginning with Rod McKenzie from 247 Sports.
Hey, Rod.
Hey, Geoff. How you doing?
Doing good.
Hey, I was wondering, when you arrived at Georgia Tech, how much did you know about Pressley Harvin and his punting ability?
The first night that we had a team meeting, he came walking in, and I'd never met any of the guys, and they come walking through, and I shake his hand, and he told me he was the punter, and I still remember the look and feel of disbelief that I had. He was like, "Coach, I'm your punter," and I'm like, "Come on, man." And then we got up there for the first day of spring ball, and it was ridiculous, his leg and just the way he works every single day. But there's a couple of meetings that were first impressions, first meetings that I'll never forget. And Pressley Harvin was definitely, one of those meetings. I thought he was the middle linebacker, and he told me he was the punter. I was astounded.
Next question comes from Kelly Quinlan from Rivals.
Hey, Kelly.
Hey, Geoff. It's been a long year for everybody. How nice is it to have a moment like this where you guys can have something fun to celebrate and kind of bond over, and also to have kind of a first kind of signature moment of kind of your coaching career in terms of a national accolade for one of your players?
Yeah, well, we had Matt Hennessy, who started the last couple of games for the Falcons, won the Remington Award. We coached him and developed him, and so proud of him. But obviously Pressley being here at Georgia Tech and what he's meant to this program, just his personality, the way the fan base, the way they've embraced him and really appreciated what he's brought to this team and to this city and to this program. And then even on the national level, you see the memes that are Pressley Harvin memes, or things that get retweeted or quote tweeted about him. It's just scratching the surface of what a special man Pressley is and how much he means to this program. And just really, really happy for him. And Kelly, back to your original point, it's been a long year, and we've been through a lot. But the biggest thing that stayed consistent is every single day, Pressley's on a mission to get better and better and better, perfect his craft, be the best at what he can be, the best at his position in college football. And that is the driving force every single day. And to see somebody with that kind of focus, that kind of commitment, and then it pay off, that is a signature moment for the program, for other guys to see, hey, Pressley has shown us how to do it, and just excited for the rest of the guys in the locker room to build upon that example.
Next question comes from Ken Segura from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution.
Hey, Kim.
Hey, Geoff. Regarding what you were saying about his consistency and his commitment to his craft, what specific things did you see that really stood out to you as far as his diligence in wanting to get better?
Yeah, the things that he does off the field. Ryan Horton is our director of applied science. He takes Press through a bunch of stretch routines, a bunch of yoga sessions, all kinds of things that help improve his core, help improve his flexibility, his body composition. And he's just really driven to find every single way, every single expert that can help him perfect his craft. And those are examples that we try to teach at all times. And for somebody to do it, execute it, have a plan, have a vision, and then it come true, those are things that are really special as we continue to build this program.
We've got time for a couple more for Coach Collins before we bring Pressley on the call. We'll start with one from Patrick Canaro from Ramblin' Sports.
Hey, Pat.
Hey, Coach Collins. Hey, with all the great kicks in Presley's career at Georgia Tech, I want to ask your recall of the details of the big touchdown pass in Miami 2019.
Yeah, that was awesome. I didn't know, Press could throw as well as he could. And that was a signature thing. What we had at the last place was how many kicks that we faked and specialized plays that we had in the kicking game. And when I saw Press could sling that thing, we had one in our playbook from the previous place that was not as successful as Presley's was. And I still remember the day we're down at Miami and, close game on the road. And I actually called it what we had called it at the previous place. And then some guys that were on the previous staff had to translate, hey, he means this. And we went and ran it, and he executed through it to Nathan Cottrell, who's now for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Huge moment, huge throw at the right time, executed it flawlessly. And just that'll be a moment that sticks out for a long, long time for me. The ability that he had for us to do it, and then him executing it in real time. And we ran another one against BC this year, and it was, he threw it on a dime and just barely, the kid made a nice play, but it was right where it was supposed to be.
Another question from Kelly Quinlan.
As a defensive coach, Geoff, can you talk a little bit about what a weapon a guy like Pressley is to have, and what a luxury as a head coach it is to have a guy that you don't have to worry about every week, that will go out and give you such a high level and can flip the field for you at any given time in a game?
Yeah, absolutely. And he's, he has helped us. We talk about our gunner play and how critical and vital that role is for us. And for us to be able to have those two things marry up, have a punter that is as explosive and dynamic as Pressley is, then you pair it with having gunners that practice, prepare, train, and live for the moments that they can cover punts. And for those two things to match up at a high level has been awesome. But he can flip the field. And the nice thing about Press too is the pooch punt situations, because I've been some places where, some guys don't want to hurt their average and want to, have some things that never enters Presley's mind. Whatever the team needs, whatever we've got to do, he is willing to do. And he's done a great job at both of those things, booming the big ones, but then the directional punt game that he'll have to do at the next level, and the pooch punt game, he's been tremendous. And those are unselfish things that he's brought to the team.
Okay, last one for Coach Collins, going to come from Ken Segura.
Again.
Hey, I think I saw Ryan there also with you and Pressley. Who else was at the party?
Yeah, Jeff Popovich was here, and then Tim Connor was here, and then our whole social media staff. Karina Hargraves was the one who organized it for us. She does a great job in the recruiting office, and it's just really cool to be back together and just to see the genuine relationships that we have at all levels throughout the organization, whether it be from the recruiting office, social media department, sports information, strength staff, applied science staff, full-time coaches, analysts, and the genuine love and care on both sides of the coin, from player to coach, coach to player, and staff members. It was really good to see each other again. We wore masks and still abiding by all the protocols, but just to be back together again and to celebrate such a special night for somebody that we love and care about. It truly means a lot. And I appreciate you guys hopping on here to celebrate Pressley as well. Hope you guys had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and cannot wait for us to be back together in person again. So I don't have to study Kelly Quinlan's guitar collection every week. I can actually see my buddy in person.
Coach, thanks a lot. Really appreciate you.
Thanks.
Can you hear me, bud?
Yep.
Okay. We'll go ahead and get started here. We'll open it right up for questions for 2020 Ray Guy Award winner, unanimous All-American, Pressley Harvin III. So questions for Pressley, please use the raise hand function within Zoom if you have a question. And we'll go ahead and call on people individually, beginning with Ken Segura from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution.
Hey, congratulations, first of all, Pressley.
Appreciate that.
I guess first, just to start, I mean, kind of what were your emotions and thoughts when you learned that you were the winner?
Yeah, it was a heartwarming moment. A lot of hard work's been put into being able to get to that position, to be able to even be thought about on that list. Better yet, to actually win it. It's also humbling, all of the hard work and all put off, but, accolades come and go all the time throughout my last 4 years here. But, making sure I don't have the big head, continue to stay down, keep God first, and continue to thrive on the field and off the field as well. And, just see it all come together was definitely a really, really good moment.
Next question comes from Kelly Quinlan from Rivals.
Hey, Pressley, I'm looking back now, and I remember the first commitment of that 2017 class and jumped in early. And can you go back in time and just think about this moment now and kind of how this has all kind of led up to that, and kind of, was this something you even imagined at that time?
Yes, when I first got here, I was definitely a lot younger on the field as well as off. It's been a ride. When I first got here, I didn't really think about it too much. I was trying to, get the respect from the guys that was on that team with me back in 2017 and so on. And, it was a goal of mine individually, but when I started being around more of the guys and all, it kind of faded away from me for a while. I was more so worried about helping the team every time I was on the field, whether it was backed up or on the 45-yard line, plus 45, and trying to pooch it somewhere. But, looking back on it now, those relationships and all, and the way that I thought about going about playing on the field for my team, it definitely brought me to this moment now of, all of the hard work, dedication that not just me, but also the other 10 guys on the field to give me good snaps, get down the field, cover well, and down really good punts. It all comes together. And, now that I look back on these past 4 years, every year, statistically, as well as me mentally, I continue to get better and better. And, this year was definitely a kind of a cherry on top for me, as well as all of the other guys on punt.
Next question comes from Rod McKenzie from 247 Sports.
Hey, Pressley, congratulations, man.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if you could take us back and retell the story of how the decision was made for you to become a punter.
Yeah, so I was in 7th grade when I first started. It was just one day we had open tryouts at every position, and I also played center at the time. So no one wanted to punt. So I just made the decision of just trying to see how it would go. And ever since from that moment, it's been special for me. When I first started out in middle school, it wasn't the best. I definitely had a pretty strong leg for a middle schooler, but when I first got to high school, my 9th grade year is when I started getting training and took that full time instead of playing other positions. I also played tight end at the time. And it was a hard decision at first. I had a couple of coaches that, told me you have the size to be a decent tight end and a fullback. But, I thought about it with my mom. My mom was also one of my first coaches in punting. And, she told me, no matter what you want to go down, like whatever route, stick with it, and we'll make the opportunities happen for you along the way. And definitely from that moment back in my freshman year, it definitely sparked something in me that, I can do this. There are definitely going to be barriers, but barriers can always be broken. And, ever since that moment, it's been just a complete grind for me. And, kind of finally seeing the recognition that I wouldn't say I deserve, but the recognition of, all of the hard work and every person that believed in me and all, I can truly come back and say thank you to it now.
Next question comes from Dan Matthews from 680 The Fan.
Hey, Pressley, congratulations. Just as Michael mentioned there, unanimous All-American. I mean, is that kind of sunk in yet for you to hear that attached to your name? And then also, too, where you think about there's only a handful of people in the world who can claim that?
It has. When I first saw that the Walter Camp came out, when I was on the actual call, it kind of hit me hard. The other ones were really, really, really good to have, but to see that last one come in when it did, especially right after I was able to win the Ray Guy, it was definitely a true, really good moment for me. And, being able to know that, there's definitely a legacy that I was able to bring to Tech, as well as, leave here now and pave the way for other African-American specialists that are behind me too. I have a really good couple of friends of mine that played at high school with me. The good stat about that, ever since I've been there, when I graduated in 2017, there's been, I think, 3 to 4 different African-American specialists after me. And, being able to have my name in those record books and, not even just those guys, but guys that are going to come after them, and being able to let them see that, anything's possible. You just got to put your mind to it, keep God first, and, just continue to grind, and anything can really happen. So being able to see my name in that record book is definitely a true honor, especially here. It hasn't been done but 2 times before me. And, just being on that list is definitely heartwarming.
And Pressley, that actually leads in really well to a question that we received via text from somebody who couldn't join us tonight, member of our media corps, and wanted to ask about you being the first African-American to ever win the Ray Guy Award and what that means to you.
It definitely means a lot, man. It's definitely history. First and foremost, being the first of something is always the hardest one to be able to break barriers that, that sometimes that people don't really understand that were there until it's actually broken. And, being able to do it, especially at Tech, not being the first African-American punter here. Another guy, Rodney Williams, I'm pretty sure you all probably know of his name. He played here. And he talked to me a couple of times through Instagram and all, and told me, when barriers are put up, they're meant to be broken. And he kind of instilled that into me to, continue to thrive and be good here. And just being able to, to say I'm the first to win the Ray Guy, I'm definitely am pleased of that, but I know I'm not going to be the last. And I think that's the best part about that.
Next question comes from Patrick Canaro from Ramblin' Sports.
Pressley, hi, congratulations. That's an awesome honor. And your thoughtfulness in accepting it is really impressive. I did want to ask you off that topic a little bit. How did you like to carry the ball versus throw the ball on the fake punt or the fake kick?
I definitely like to throw it more. I feel like I can trust my arm a little bit more than my leg sometimes. But definitely, especially that play that I had with Nate Contrell last year against Miami, that was definitely one of my favorite plays, just because of who Nate was, not even just because it was a touchdown for me, but, the gratitude and the humbleness that Nate had last year, and, putting things aside on offense to be a special teams player, and, to see him where he is today, I think that is one of the best moments of a pass that I've ever had.
Another question from Kelly Quinlan.
Hey, Pressley, I was just curious kind of what the thing that stands out the most to you when you think back on your career at Georgia Tech. Is it the play at Miami, or is there some other moment that really kind of really sticks out in your mind when you think back about over your entire career?
I think the one that sticks out was definitely the one from Miami, but I think one that'll beat that one was my freshman year against Miami. We played in a monsoon in the last quarter, and I had guys like Brant Mitchell come up to me, as well as a couple of other guys like JJ Green, and those guys of telling me, like, we need you. We know you're young, but we know you can do it. And from that punt that I think I had a 62-yarder, and right after that monsoon of some rain we had. And, being able to see the guys appreciate, the gift that I've brought to the team, but nonetheless to always have my back is definitely some of the true moments that I'm gonna always remember here. Every time I look back or when I come back, being around those guys that, you know, put things aside to, you know, make sure I was okay on and off the field, especially the specialist groups are definitely some of the best times I've ever had in practice with those guys too.
Another question from Ken Segura.
Hey, Pressley, about you being the first African punter to win this award, and you mentioned obstacles along the way. What are some of the things that you faced that you've had to overcome as a black punter?
Yeah, so I think the biggest one was when I was in high school, I would go to Cole's professional kicking camps, and just being around a big group of guys, like camps in Wisconsin was like the national scholarship one, which was the big one that they rank for ESPN rankings and all. And being one of, I think, maybe 3 or 4 other black specialists that were there at the time, it was definitely eye-opening to me. It's definitely something that, you know, is starting to happen a little bit more often. A good friend of mine, he just transferred to Oregon State. His name's Caleb Lightbourne. I think me and him this year, and I think Iowa State had a kicker. I think there's only 3 of us that were actually African Americans that were on a roster in college that was actually a specialist. And, you know, looking back at it, it's always been a small group, but ever since I first started punting and all, I wanted to make a name for myself. And, you know, being one of the ones to pave the way, I think that's definitely something I'm always look back on, of being that one of 3 to 4 at every camp, kind of like the underdog type of perspective. But, you know, just being an underdog, but always wanting to overachieve.
Are there any more questions for Pressley? Okay, if not, I want to thank everybody for joining us this evening. Thank you, Pressley. I think the next time we'll have him on with everybody is at Pro Day. Is that right, Pressley?
I think so. Hopefully we have one.
Looking forward to Pressley taking his talents to the NFL. And thanks to everyone for joining us on the call this evening.